Hey guys, TrepChains here. Lilith is coming. And I'm super excited to be showing a preview of Diablo 4. I was lucky enough to be able to play a preview build of Diablo 4 in the First Zone Fractured Peaks recently and would like to share some early thoughts and impressions. Keeping in mind Diablo 4 is expected in 2023, which is not that far away now on both PC and console. One of the first things to notice when you enter Diablo 4 is that the mood is different. It's dark, it's realistic, and with Lilith as the mother of Sanctuary, a lot of the evil stems from corrupted humans. The campaign itself is a bit different to previous Diablo titles in that there's actually branches of it. It doesn't have to be linear. So you can choose which sections you want to play through first at various points. This might seem a little bit confusing initially, but a key thing to remember is that the main campaign quests have yellow indicators and side quests have blue indicators, but you very likely will find yourself with different yellow indicators main quests to pick from at lots of points when playing Diablo 4. Unsurprisingly, I spent the majority of my time playing the rogue. As a rogue, you get choices as to whether you want to play melee or ranged, plus cool movement skills such as dash, which is also partly a melee attack, as well as traps. The skill tree itself is new to Diablo 4. And at one node, you might have options for range skills on one side and melee skills on another, for example, or the choice to improve cold focus skills or poison focus skills or shadow focus skills on different branches around a particular node. Upgrades are also available to enhance most skills. For example, my favorite rogue skill thus far is Barrage. In the second upgrade, I can select whether Barrage will either make enemies vulnerable every third hit, or alternatively provide me some increased critical strike chance after ricocheting a number of times. But importantly, I can't select both. Well, obviously, when you get your hands on Diablo 4, you want to get right into the action. But it's worth noting that, for me, I think I could spend, an hour or so on these screens. Diablo 4 has some awesome character customization options to be able to make your character, in my case, my rogue, really look how I want, which is awesome. Also, once you're in game, there is a wardrobe where you can change the look of your gear. For example, if I pick up certain pieces, I'm able to basically learn what they look like, and I can go to my wardrobe and make the gear I'm wearing look like the gear that I've previously found, and also dye it different color sets as well to make my character really look how I want. One thing we also got to hear from some of the developers, which was awesome, there will obviously be some cosmetics being sold in Diablo 4 if you really want to enhance your character further, but as I say, what you find on the ground you can put on your character anyway, but yeah, there will be a cosmetic shop to, I guess, enhance that even further. And while I'm talking about the shop, in the developer talks, they really wanted to stress again that they would not be selling power in Diablo 4. So we might as well rehash that now as well. The developers have been really clear that they are not going to be selling power, just cosmetics and the like to make your character look exactly how you want. One of the most important things mentioned to me in the presentation we had from the Diablo 4 team was the concept of playing your way. I feel that in a lot of the past Diablo games, there's been, set metas that certain times you really have to play certain builds to at least be the most effective you can be. And if you're going to play, you know, certain other builds, you're just never going to be effectively as good. We were able to have a Q&A with the developers as well. And in this case, we got to ask questions of Diablo IV game director Joe Shelley and head of franchise of Diablo, Rod Ferguson. And I asked about this question, you know, what's that going to look like playing your way long term when, you know, obviously a lot of the Diablo games have had this. For example, if I'm playing a Demon Hunter in Diablo 3, sometimes there hasn't really felt like a choice. I would just have to play a Impale Demon Hunter for a season, like a melee style, when I'd really much rather be playing a ranged Demon Hunter. So I kind of asked about that in terms of the rogue. And I want to note here that I'm not going to use direct quotes from either Joe Shelley or Rod Ferguson, because I did get a very elaborate answer, but I wanted to talk about, I guess, the gist of that answer, which effectively said there was a balance they want to make between, you know, making changes to things which encourage people to play in different ways, but they do acknowledge that if that, I guess, goes too far, it can result in these meta-style builds. So effectively, they'll be monitoring for careful balance, obviously with corrections as required. And then there was also talk about how Diablo IV overall has greater flexibility in the systems. For example, in the skill tree and in the legendaries, and the way that the legendaries can have these build-defining affixes on them, which you can move around. You can move the legendary affixes around at the Oculus, and you can also re-roll certain affixes. So you get, you know, an affix you don't want, you can re-roll that at the Oculus, and then how that all interacts with the Paragon tree. And effectively the overall goal was that there would be variety in, you know, even if, let's say, two people were playing overall, you know, a barrage rogue, that they could be potentially playing that a very different way. And also stating that some builds might excel at different things and be challenged by different things as well. So they are looking to, I guess, constantly monitor and do balance as required, but, you know, in the systems as well, trying to encourage, you know, that build diversity. So I'm hopeful that this will actually work out and we will get the variety so that, you know, you don't necessarily feel like you need to play a melee rogue when, you know, you really just wanted to play a ranged rogue, which, you know, is a bit like me. One of the other things worth noting just from playing this preview build is that some of the fights can be really quite interesting and exciting. For example, I was fighting Lilith's Lament in Serpent's Passage, and I really had to watch my positioning and dodge as things were coming at me from all sides while trying to obviously do damage to the boss at the same time. Overall, Diablo IV seems to be a huge world with a whole bunch of stuff to do, from world events, which basically are marked by reddish circles on the map, which I always deviate to because I just enjoy them, little events, to dungeons, side quests, strongholds, world bosses, as well as, and it wasn't in our preview build, but Fields of Hatred for PvP. I think there's going to be so much to do. I'm really looking forward to Diablo 4, and I hope you are too. See you in Sanctuary, and GG!